for a fight, June 27th.
June 27th?
Yes, sir. Barclays Center.
What's your weight? What's your weight class?
154.
150. You 154?
Yes, 154. That's what I fight at. I'm about your weight right now, though.
I was about to say. You don't look 154.
No, I fight 154, but obviously I have a nutritionist team that work with me and stuff. And they get me ready.
All right, come on now. Like, really? You should have just let me go first.
Hey, man, I have to show you the combination, man.
Yeah, but
So
that.
Remember, jab is your 1, 2 is your right hand, hook is the hook with the 3.
Okay.
1.
So 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Keep that hand up.
All right.
1, 2, 3. There you go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. There you go.
Right here.
1, 2, 3. There you go. Now we're gonna work a little bit like the same thing. Same start of the combination. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna slip. 3, 2, roll.
Xander Zayas and IShowSpeed turned a live stream into an intense boxing session, blending pro skill with viral energy ahead of Jaron Ennis's historic clash. Zayas is quick to draw a clear line between the gym and the real thing, acknowledging that while he's shared plenty of rounds with his sparring partner, every camp is different, building on that mindset.
But I also feel that every camp is different, every preparation is different. Whatever I was preparing for when he was my sparring partner, it's not going to be the same thing I will be preparing for when I'm fighting him, and the same way around. So I feel like I'm going to see a lot of things that are very similar and some things that are completely different going into the fight. So I'm expecting that. I'm expecting the best version of Abbas.
Zayas said he is the more polished fighter in this matchup, and that his ability to make the necessary adjustments in real time is the exact advantage that will separate the two when it matters most.
Fighter that is going to come forward, is going to try to put pressure, and to be honest, I feel like that's the only way that he can have a chance against me. He's not a better fighter. He's not a better boxer than me, and I'm polished. You know, I know how to adjust. Everybody have seen it throughout my career.
And if that wasn't enough to turn heads, Zayas boldly argued that the Boots Ennis hype is built on smoke, with opponents carefully tailored to make him look unstoppable, rather than genuine tests of his elite-level credentials.
Yeah, I feel like he's a good fighter, and you can't take the facts away. He's a unified world champion at 147. Those are facts, but I feel like people that he has fought have been tailor-made for his style and what he does and what he brings to the table. I feel like everybody will be in for a shock. Every single one of my opponents have been into a shock every time they step into the ring with me. It's easy to see me and, oh, he's a 23, the 22-year-old kid, just young kid, no experience. Once he get hit, he's gonna want to get it right back. And it's a whole different story when you step in there with me and you see the knowledge and the maturity I have inside that ring.
Adding precise analysis about this fight, Roy Jones Jr. keeps his advice for Zayas short and sharp. Keep studying Jaron's skills and mistakes, because that's exactly what makes Boots so dangerous in the first place.
What's the best advice you could give him if he's heading into it?
Just keep trying to advance, keep learning your craft, keep studying your craft, keep working on your repertoire, because having a deep repertoire is what it's going to take to beat a guy like Boots, because Boots has a great repertoire.
However, predicting the outcome, Rolly Romero makes it clear that experience is the deciding factor. Boots Ennis brings extraordinary skills into every fight, making Ennis the clear favorite when the two are stacked up against each other.
It's hard to really go against Boots because on that one with specifically Xander, you know, I feel Xander's still young, you know? Boots is a lot older and has a lot more experience.
This matchup between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis has been generating serious buzz, as it pits a rising young prospect against an already proven elite-level fighter with experience and dominance at the top, and Zayas is fully ready to step into the ring.
Bro, I'm happy, man. I'm happy. It's like you said, it sounded so good hearing it. The youngest. The youngest. I like to make history. I always make history. I always chase history. History chases me. I don't know. It's just like a good combination between both of us. So I feel like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every step of it, man. Every single step of it. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. I'm being happy. My team is happy. My family's happy. Puerto Rico is happy. Man, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. June 27th can't come any faster, and I'm ready to take on the world.
And if that wasn't enough to turn heads, Zayas keeps that same unbothered energy straight into camp, revealing that nothing has changed in his preparation. Same fun, same people, same vibe, while quietly honing in on what he describes as very real holes in Boots Ennis that he fully intends to exploit come fight night.
Nothing, having the same fun, keeping the same energy. I enjoy being in camp. I enjoy having my people around. So to be honest, it's been pretty much the same, obviously. Working on the things we need to work on, preparing for Boots Ennis, but other than that, pretty much same thing, same energy.
Is there anything specific about Boots that you're working on specifically for this camp? Obviously, like at the presser, you guys talked about the lack of head movement or whatever, so like there's certain things are you honing in on to exploit Boots?
I mean, yeah, of course, there's always things. Again, there's a lot of holes that I know I can take advantage of come fight night, but don't want to discuss them on cameras because obviously it's part of the game plan.
Cutting through all the noise and hype, Tim Bradley issues a warning that he's seen this play out before, where a fighter dismisses a champion's resume only to realize too late that disrespect cuts both ways.
It's sharpening, it just sharpening. You know, like this fight right here is woken up a beast in Boots, and Boots has to prove that, hey, everything that y'all been saying about me is real, and I'm gonna show you in this fight against this guy right here who thinks just because he got 2 belts, you know, that he can beat me, right? Boots is kind of like taking the offense to this, you know? He's taking offense to this. And so I think it's more so a fight where Boots has to show up and show the hell out and be the best version of himself.
Bradley is genuinely moved by what Xander Zayas is willing to risk, believing wholeheartedly that if he pulls this off, a new star is born, and all of Puerto Rico will be going crazy, knowing just how dangerous this fight truly is.
But he's not afraid, I'll tell you that much. Xander is not afraid, and he truly believes in his heart that he can beat Boots. Truly believes in his heart. And it's gonna be amazing to see what happens, man, on that night. It is. It's gonna be amazing to see. And if he can pull this off, oh my goodness, a new star is born. Yeah, you know, a new star is born for sure. Puerto Rico is gonna be going crazy because they know how dangerous this fight is as well.
Zayas suggests that Boots may actually overcompensate with his athleticism, that every fighter placed in front of him has made the critical mistake of staying stationary, never changing angles or using their legs, handing Boots the perfect canvas to unleash his combinations and look absolutely unstoppable doing it.
Do you think he overcompensates with his athleticism?
He might. I mean, he again, I feel like the fighters he has fought are tailor-made for him. He has fighters that has stayed in front of him. And again, he's a very good fighter when he has somebody in front of him, when he has somebody that is not changing angles, that is not using his legs, and he could just punch in combinations. Yes, you will see that athleticism because he's very good at that.
Looking ahead to June 27th, another famous personality, Devont Smith, breaks down the clash with genuine excitement, praising Zayas for his fearless willingness to take on any opponent while framing the matchup as a high-level chess match between two fighters with elite boxing IQs.
Well, to be honest, I've been telling him I want him to fight Xander from once I first heard the negotiations going left. I'm like, yo, pivot to Xander. He like, yo, I still want to fight Virgil. But I was in his ear so much to tell him to fight fight Xander. Because Xander ain't turn nobody down. He been trying to fight everybody. He tried to fight Virgil. He tried to fight Pandora. True. I think he wants to smoke. So Boots and him is a perfect fight.
What's that fight look like?
I think it's a high-level boxing match at the beginning. Xander start off fast, Boots start off fast. So it just, who's gonna pull their will first?
But when it comes to his prediction, Devont sees a competitive opening before Boots ultimately takes over, targeting the body and securing a stoppage in what he believes will be a masterclass in calculated, surgical destruction. When it comes to his prediction, Devont sees a competitive opening that could fool some into thinking Zayas has a real shot, but ultimately believes Boots will methodically take over, targeting the body relentlessly until the accumulation of damage downstairs forces the stoppage. For Devont, this isn't a matter of if Boots finishes it. It's simply a matter of when the bodywork becomes too much to survive.
High IQ, Boots got very high IQ. Xander, he a little bigger, but I think Boots got more of the intangibles, stuff like that. I think Boots about to stop it. I thought it was gonna be a corner stoppage, but I think to not get too much up, I think he might hurt him downstairs. All I'm gonna say about it. I just think it's gonna be something downstairs.
On the other hand, Shane Mosley sees it differently. He believes Zayas needs to stay active, keep the tempo high, and use constant movement to disrupt Ennis's rhythm. Because if he lingers in range too long, Ennis can start to dictate the exchanges, and once that happens, the momentum could quickly swing in his favor.
Well, I think that Xander Zayas have to be more of a volume puncher, kind of like with you know what I'm forgetting his name, Fedora.
Yes.
Like Fedora was like a volume puncher. And I think that he has to keep Boots in his you know, occupied with all the punches and movements and stuff like that. But if he stays there right in front of him, then you know, then Boots is going to, you know, take his toll on him. But I think that activity for Xander Zayas will be the key for him.
Shane Mosley has watched young fighters rise too fast and others wait too long, knows better than most when the timing is right, and right now, he sees no reason to wait. As the Zayas versus Ennis's conversation heats up, he insists Zayas is far from green, a fighter who turned pro at just 17 and has been quietly building toward exactly this moment. It's a generational matchup between two men at the peak of their powers that boxing simply cannot afford to miss.
Well, I don't think Xander's green, because Xander started off early, like when he was 17. So you know, I'm not going to give him the green card. I just think that maybe he's at the right age, I think. But if he has all the energy and can kind of like keep activity going, but Boots of the same thing is very much at his prime and at the top of his game, and it could be a very interesting fight, like for both guys.
What really gets Roy Jones Jr. fired up, though, is when Jaron Ennis comes up, because in his eyes, Boots isn't just talented, he's the kind of dangerous that keeps trainers up at night. Most fighters today walk into the ring with one game plan and pray it holds, but Boots operates on a completely different level, able to read what isn't working in real time and seamlessly shift to something entirely different without missing a beat. Jones sees in him a fighter with so many layers and so many weapons that breaking him down on paper is almost pointless.
Has talent too, but knows how to use his talent. Therefore, it's nothing to break down. And I think they'll find that out come this next fight.
Does he remind you of yourself at all?
A lot.
How so?
Well, he got so many things he can do. He know how to change things up on the spot. When you can be able to adapt and change up on the spot, that's what you don't find in most fighters nowadays. You don't find guys that if this ain't working, they can go do that. But that ain't working, they can go do that. You understand me? That was the one good thing about Bud Crawford. If this don't work, he can change right hand or left hand and try another, or right hand and try another way.
And perhaps the highest compliment came when Roy Jones Jr. admitted that Zayas reminds him a lot of himself, praising his rare ability to read a fight in real time and change things up on the spot. Quality he compares to Bud Crawford, and one that almost doesn't exist in the modern game. Because at the end of the day, in a sport full of one-dimensional fighters, Zayas has options, and that, according to Jones, is what separates the good from the truly great.
What's the right way to describe a fighter like you or Jaron, where it looks like maybe he's breaking the rules, but he's really being creative and dynamic?
He's smart enough, he understands enough, he has a good enough foundation to do anything necessary at the time that it calls for it. So if it calls for throwing a leaping hook, he can do that. If it calls for throwing an overhand right, he can do that. If it calls for putting his hand down and setting you up to hit you, he can do that. That's what the great ones like myself were able to do. We are able to adapt on the spot, and it's because of having a great foundation. If you don't have a great foundation, you can't do that. So all this stuff about talent, no. Talent is more like Prince Nassim Hamed.
And if the experience numbers weren't enough of a warning, Zab Judah takes it a step further, pleading with Zayas to stay in his lane, warning that Boots was already established in that class before Zayas even arrived, and that jumping up prematurely is a mistake he's seen derail promising careers before. Because at the end of the day, he likes Zayas, he genuinely does, but a hungry, experienced, and determined Boots Ennis with a full game plan waiting is simply too much too soon for a fighter who still has everything to prove and nothing to rush.
Don't jump classes. Boots was there before you, so he's in a class above you. Why jumping up the class for? Stay in your lane. Be the man of your lane. Why not? Right? Why not, Mills? It's the same thing Boots was getting ready to do when he was jumping up to Crawford's era. Remember? He's going to jump into a whole nother era. Why? You didn't need to. Stay where you are. You're the king right now. You're the king. You're unbeatable. You're undefeated. Nobody's touching you. You know, you're blowing guys out of the water. exactly what I said, right? Remember I said that? I said, if he stay where he's at, he's gonna be great. Xander, not yet. Not yet. I like him, but he run into an experienced, strong, hungry, determined Jaron Boots Ennis.
Adding another layer to the experience argument, Zab Judah puts the numbers on the table, pointing out that Zayas' 23 fights compared to Ennis' 35 isn't just a stat, it's a significant gap that could prove to be the defining factor when these two finally share the same ring. He said talent only takes you so far, and those extra 12 fights Boots has under his belt represent a kind of wisdom that simply cannot be taught.
Xander Zayas, huh?
Yeah, 23 fights, I was right.
Yeah, I like Mills.
Oh, and Boots is 35 fights.
Don't I like Xander Mills?
Yeah.
I like Xander Zayas. I promise y'all, Xander Mills, I like you. I just don't want to see you jump in there right now. Not right now. I just think that just hold up, take one more, and then jump into the pot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, not yet. You still got, you know what I'm saying? You getting better. That head movement is getting better. That movement, but it's just still.
Side.
You move the head not one time, Look. What happened?
Setting the tone from the jump, professional boxer Tiger Johnson refuses to let either fighter be undersold, predicting that the potential June bout will be an all-out war rather than the one-sided affair many are expecting, arguing that both Zayas and Boots are dangerously slept on and deserve far more credit than the boxing world is currently giving them.
I mean, I think it's going to be a way better fight than people is giving it. You know what I mean? I think. Xander kind of a big dude too. Yeah. Boots is real strong as well, so yeah, he kind of a big dude. But man, I think it's gonna be a war in my opinion. I think they're gonna bang it out.
Make no mistake, according to Johnson, this fight is far from a foregone conclusion, predicting an all-out war between two fighters he believes are both dangerously sleepy, insisting the boxing world has severely underestimated what is about to unfold come June. For Johnson, this isn't just a competitive matchup, it's a statement fight for two men who have been waiting far too long for the recognition they deserve.
I think, Xander kind of a big dude too. Yeah. Boots is real strong as well, so yeah, he kind of a big dude. But man, I think it's gonna be a war in my opinion. I think they're gonna bang it out.
Did you ever spar with Xander?
When we was young. When
was this?
We was kids. Like this was probably like 2017, like almost 10 years ago. Like it was like 2017.
2 years before he became pro.
Yeah. So he was real young.
Was he always a boxer first? Is that always his style?
He was always he always been like a boxer, like an aggressive boxer. You know what I mean?
As the conversation around a potential clash between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis continues to build, it raises some genuinely interesting questions about timing, readiness, and stylistic matchups. Zayas is widely seen as one of the most promising young prospects in boxing today, showing maturity, composure, and technical sharpness well beyond his years. So now it comes down to you. If this fight were to happen, who would you back and why? Would you trust the rising talent of Zayas to rise to the occasion, or would you lean toward the experience and proven dominance of Ennis? Share your thoughts, break down the matchup in your own way, and let the discussion continue. If you enjoy this kind of in-depth boxing discussion and analysis, consider supporting the channel by subscribing and staying updated with upcoming content. There will be more breakdowns, previews, and discussions covering the biggest names and potential fights in the sport. Until next time, keep following the action and stay engaged with the world of boxing.